Stay tuned for urban legends to ghostly tales of the paranormal, because now it's time for
Message on the Wall.
This is Message on the Wall and Haunted Cemeteries in South Carolina. We begin at Pageland in Chesterfield County, where in a remote area of woodland is the Blakeney Family Cemetery. It was John Blakeney that purchased the land in 1785, having come from Ireland around 35 years earlier and setting up a plantation. During the American Revolution, John was commissioned as a captain in the militia in 1775, being assigned to General Francis Marion's brigade. John and his wife Maggie, or Margaret, had 8 children, and for the remainder of his 100 years he lived on his homestead and died there. His headstone is very impressive, reading Captain John Blakeney Esquire, 1732 to 1832, pioneer, patriot, churchman, statesman, colonial and revolutionary soldier, along with the history of his political and revolutionary achievements. Members of the Blakeney family buried in this small graveyard are said to haunt the place at night. When coming off South Carolina 9 onto Dudley Road, what is no more than a sand track on the left leads to the cemetery, which after rain fills with large puddles. Of course, when coming along Dudley Road from the north, it will be on the right side, and being careful not to take a similar track before the one that leads to the graveyard, that is known as John Blakeney Lane, making it highly advisable to check out the location in the daytime. Moving southward to the east of Sumter is Shilo, where we find the Salem Black River Church. It's not the original church that stands there today, but the graveyard at the back is much older. Located on Brick Church Road, there are said to be many spirits that don't rest in peace here, with the place holding an eerie presence even during the day. The most active part seems to be the back of the cemetery, where there are many unmarked graves. Our next cemetery is to the east at Newberry. The West End Cemetery on Crossan Street, with its 2 entrances enclosed by a mesh fence, is a fair size, with its open lawns sitting opposite the Newberry Middle School. It's hard to think that anyone could not rest in peace here, but there is one. Known as the Bride of West End, a female in bridal attire has been seen sitting in trees within the graveyard, while sometimes she is beside her grave, and at others she leaves the cemetery to wander the fields. Sightings of this white apparition go back to the 1800s, as this spirit awaits her groom. Travelling east to the border of Georgia and Lownesville is Ridge Church and Graveyard. Sat beside McCalla State Park, if you think this is a desolate and lonely place, then you wouldn't be wrong. When the church was abandoned, it was used for a time by satanic worshippers. Some of the top graves have been vandalised and bones have been scattered, either animal or human, so is not a place for the faint-hearted. Orbs have been seen even during the day, while the church itself is very haunted, as sermons have been heard coming from inside, while the place always seems to be cold. And we go southeast to our last haunted cemetery in Aiken County and the Graniteville Cemetery. A nighttime investigation would require permission, even though this is an open cemetery, as there are signs saying no admittance or trespassing after dark. The main entrance consists of a gateless archway saying Graniteville Cemetery. The haunting here is said to include a female that puts flowers on the graves of children, while visiting on a full moon may find sounds coming from this large graveyard that include screams, laughter, and gunshots. And those are just a few of the haunted cemeteries in South Carolina. You've been listening to Message on the Wall, brought to you by Paranormal X, your website for everything paranormal at www.paranormalx.yolasite.com.